Mention the word finance, and most people's minds go straight to spreadsheets, accounting textbooks, or the specialized math used by Wall Street bankers. Think of it instead as the underlying operating system for the modern world, the code that dictates how every product you buy and every app you use actually reaches you. Despite its importance, students often enter adulthood without ever seeing how these parts click together, leaving them to guess how the global economy works. Developing this fluency early provides the map you need to navigate the complexities of the 21st century with confidence. This entire global system begins at the individual level, inside your own wallet. At its simplest, it is a cycle of cash flow. You have income, money coming in, and expenses, which is the money you pay out to live your life. Maximize your assets, things holding value, while minimizing liabilities or debts owed. Subtract what you owe from what you own to find your net worth. Acquiring assets builds wealth, while unmanaged liabilities quickly tip the scale into the red. Saving is the habit that bridges this gap. It represents the portion of your income you set aside to fund future growth, rather than immediate consumption. Warren Buffett suggests reversing the typical mindset. He argues you should spend what is left after saving, rather than saving what is left after spending. It is worth asking what happens to that money once it leaves your pocket. It rarely sits idle in a vault. Your personal decision to save acts as the initial spark that powers the rest of the global economic engine. That spark enters the formal banking system, the first major gear in the machine. Banks pool individual deposits into a central reserve, pushing this capital out as loans for businesses to build factories. Businesses repay these loans with interest, covering the bank's costs and rewarding you, the depositor. You can think of banks as the world's financial plumbing, taking static savings and converting them into active fuel for businesses to grow. This capital is the lifeblood of business innovation and technological research. Many companies raise this money by selling equity, small slices of ownership, on the stock market, where these shares are bought and sold daily. When a privately held startup reaches a valuation of over $1 billion, it is known as a unicorn, a nod to how rare these companies used to be. Eventually, the most successful startups become the public giants that shape our daily routines, from the hardware in our pockets to the software we use for work. Every household name started as a small venture. Even the most brilliant software ideas require massive financial backing to move from a garage to a global standard. Those early investments allow a company to scale, eventually growing into a trillion-dollar ecosystem that influences markets all over the world. Ultimately, stock prices and company valuations are a reflection of where we, as a society, choose to place our collective belief. To maintain this growth, these companies must eventually operate across different borders, currencies, and legal systems. This creates a vast web of exchange, where yen, yuan, and euros are traded every second to keep international commerce moving. Forums like the G7 and G20 bring the world's largest economies together to try and coordinate these policies and keep the system stable. But the system also requires international referees to set the rules and ensure everyone plays fair. The International Monetary Fund works to stabilize the world's currencies, while the World Trade Organization sets the legal rules for trade between nations. These organizations exist to protect the flow of value, starting with your personal decision to save. A trade policy drafted in a Geneva boardroom eventually impacts the shipping costs for ingredients that determine the price of bread in your hometown. Look closely, and these seemingly random global events reveal themselves as a fully interconnected web of logic. Financial literacy is the ability to see these invisible connections, giving you the information needed to make better long-term decisions. The Global Finance Olympiad is designed to help you build this visual way of thinking while you are still in school. Understanding how money works is an investment in your own future, equipping you to think globally so you can succeed in your local world.